Right, we're going to talk the sport. Aidan Magee with us now, and Aidan, all about the big draw, the World Cup draw. All the groups were drawn on Friday. England, and how juicy is that going to be? Because they could be against Wales or Scotland.
Yeah, it's not as easy as it looks, really, Eamon. I mean, the draw came out on Friday. I suppose Gareth Southgate, had he been given the pick, and obviously you can't just pick all sides in Europe because there's a coefficient involved, but they got USA, but USA have got 5 young players in the Champions League playing in Europe, including Christian Pulisic at Chelsea. They're no mugs. They've never been thrashed, really, in World Cups, not going back to 1990. They're solid citizens in this competition. And against England, going back to 2010, they did well. We think 1950 as well, that shock result, going back over a few years, of course. But then, since then, you've got Iran coming into it. They've not been in the World Cup since 1998. They're very dominant.
A big political mix with that as well.
Oh, without question. But they've also been dominant in their qualifying group as well, in their section. And I always think that if a team, regardless of who they're playing against, if they're winning every week, they take good habits into an international tournament. And, of course, England is a big scalp. And then the 4th place, well, you know, what's going to happen there? It's going to be Ukraine against Scotland, obviously, coming up in June. We could see a situation where the Ukraine might play against Scotland in a playoff, having not had any practice. There's even talk that they could go to Wembley and play some club matches against some English sides to get some practice. But I really don't think that Ukraine game is going to play. I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be very difficult. 18 of their 24-man squad plays at home. They could even be conscripted into fighting by then. Who knows what's going to happen in the next 2 months?
There may not have been a more controversial World Cup, of course, and all of this happens this year in November. You've been to Qatar.
Yes. I'll tell you what, it's the size of Yorkshire. I was there in 2010. I was writing Sam Allardyce's column in my News of the World days. I was there for a week at the Ritz-Carlton. My boss rang me up, Paul McCarthy, and said, Aidan, you're not just going there to do one column for a whole week in the Ritz-Carlton. Get yourself down to the Qatar local organising committee. There's the vote coming up later this year. Get some drawings, get some architecture. Let's show us exactly what a World Cup in Qatar might look like. They showed me everything. And these were people, these were foot soldiers on the ground. They were saying to me, listen, Aidan, we're just familiarising ourselves with the process here. We're not going to win. We know that. But lo and behold, 4 months later, they did win. Now, Amy, it doesn't take a fool to work out, but it doesn't take a genius, rather, to work out what happened. We know he shouldn't be there. It's in November. It's wreaked havoc with the season. But they built 8 stadiums at a cost of £6 billion in an area the size of Yorkshire. Can you imagine a World Cup as small as that? And it's going to present problems for all kinds of different reasons.